He went from breaking every chart record in history to disappearing almost overnight. Lil Nas X wasn't just a star, he was the internet. One viral song, a cowboy hat, and suddenly he changed how fame worked. Old Town Road wasn't just a hit, it was a global storm that made him the face of a new kind of celebrity. Fast, bold, and completely online. But fame that rises fast also burns fast. As quickly as he took over, the energy around him started to fade.
There's been a lot of going on.
The same internet that built him up started turning on him. Fans stopped streaming. His new music didn't hit the same. Even big artists wouldn't pick up his calls. It's strange, isn't it? How the man who once owned every headline could suddenly feel invisible. What really happened to the viral king? Because this fall wasn't just about bad songs or weak numbers. It was something deeper. A mix of controversy, pressure, and timing that no one saw coming. But that wasn't the whole story. Because what came next would change everything for Lil Nas X and every viral artist chasing fame after him.
How does Lil Nas X make money? Nas makes song about horse. Nas makes song about sandwich. Money come.
Before the fame, before the diamond records, Lil Nas X was just Montero Lamar Hill, a quiet kid from Atlanta with big dreams and no clear path. He didn't come from money or music connections. His dad was a gospel singer, and his mom battled her own struggles, so Montero bounced between homes, trying to find where he fit. But while life offline felt unstable, online, that's where he found control. He became obsessed with the internet, not just scrolling, but studying it. While most teens were posting selfies, Montero was learning how to make things go viral. He ran fan accounts, meme pages, and even a Nicki Minaj stan page called Nas Mirage, which quietly gained millions of followers. That's where he learned how to grab attention with humor, timing, and controversy, skills that would later make him a superstar. But here's the thing, back then, he wasn't famous, he wasn't rich, and he didn't even know what he wanted to do. He tried college for computer science, but dropped out within a year. He was broke, unsure, and had no backup plan. Still, he had something most people didn't, a natural instinct for how the internet thinks. Then one day, he decided to mix his two worlds, music and memes. He scraped together $50 to record a strange little country trap song. It was catchy, simple, and funny. He didn't have a label, a team, or a plan. All he had was a dream and Wi-Fi. That $50 gamble would change everything, because what started as a meme became one of the biggest songs in history. But that wasn't the whole story, because what came next didn't just make Lil Nas X famous, it broke the entire music industry.
I rebuke that music video. I rebuke it. I rebuke in the name of Jesus.
Old Town Road wasn't supposed to be a global hit. It was just a $30 beat from a random Dutch producer and a $20 studio session on Discount Tuesday. Lil Nas X recorded it in less than an hour, then went back to doing what he did best, making memes. He didn't pitch it to a label, he didn't call a manager. Instead, he dropped the song online and built the hype himself, one post at a time. He spammed TikTok, Twitter, and Reddit with memes of cowboys, horses, and wild edits. It was smart, funny, and perfectly timed. Soon, TikTok users started the Yeehaw Challenge, and suddenly, everyone from teenagers to grandparents was dancing to Lil Nas X's weird country trap song. It wasn't just viral, it was unstoppable. By the time people realized what was happening, Old Town Road had already exploded. It hit #1 on Billboard and refused to leave. Week after week, it broke record after record, becoming the longest-running #1 song in Billboard history. It even went diamond faster than any other single, selling over 10 million copies. But success didn't come without drama. Billboard quietly removed Old Town Road from the country charts, claiming it didn't fit the genre. Fans saw it differently. A young black artist was being kept out of country music spotlight. The controversy only made the song bigger. When Billy Ray Cyrus jumped on the remix, it became unstoppable. Lil Nas X had hacked the entire industry. A broke kid from Atlanta outsmarted every label executive in America, using nothing but memes, timing, and confidence. But that's the thing about fast fame. It doesn't always last, because once Old Town Road started to fade, everyone asked the same question: could Lil Nas X do it again? After Old Town Road dominated the world, the pressure hit hard. Everyone was waiting to see if Lil Nas X was just another viral moment, a one-hit wonder. Critics said he'd never top it. Even fans wondered if he had anything else in him. And honestly, who could blame them? How do you follow up the biggest song in history? But instead of disappearing, Lil Nas X doubled down. He released Panini, a slick futuristic track that proved he wasn't done yet. The song climbed to #5 on the Billboard charts and earned him Grammy nominations, including Best New Artist. Suddenly, the one-hit wonder label didn't fit so easily. Still, even with the success, people didn't really know who Lil Nas X was yet. He wasn't just a rapper or a singer, he was a personality, a walking meme who understood the internet better than anyone. And then came the moment that truly defined him. In June 2019, right at the peak of Pride Month, he came out to the world. It was bold. No male rapper had ever reached that level of fame and done something like that publicly. Fans called it brave, critics called it risky, but Lil Nas X didn't care. He laughed at the hate, turned it into jokes, and kept moving forward. That That confidence made him a symbol for a new generation, someone who refused to fit into anyone's box. But success comes with expectations, and as fans celebrated his freedom and creativity, Lil Nas X started planning something bigger, something that would test how far the industry and the world would let him go. Because his next move wouldn't just make headlines, it would shake the music world to its core. When Lil Nas X dropped Montero Call Me By Your Name in 2021, the world stopped. The song was catchy, bold, and full of attitude, but it was the music video that lit everything on fire. In it, Lil Nas slid down a pole straight into the underworld, gave a lap dance to a devil figure, and smiled while the internet melted down. Conservative groups called it evil. Parents accused him of corrupting kids. Church leaders publicly rebuked the video, but Lil Nas X didn't back down. He turned the outrage into marketing fuel. On Twitter, he trolled every critic, posting memes, jokes, and clapbacks that kept him trending for weeks. It was a masterclass in internet control. Then came the infamous Satan shoes, a collaboration with the art collective MSCHF. The sneakers were designed with pentagrams, red ink, and even a drop of human blood. All 666 pairs sold out in less than a minute, and Nike immediately sued. But again, controversy made him bigger. People weren't just streaming his song anymore. They were talking about him non-stop. Behind all the chaos, though, there was strategy. Montero wasn't just shock value. It was Lil Nas X taking full ownership of who he was. He wasn't hiding, he wasn't apologizing, and fans who once doubted his staying power now saw a superstar who could control the internet and the charts at the same time. When Montero, the album, dropped, it debuted strong, 120,000 units sold, Grammy nominations, and another massive hit with Industry Baby featuring Jack Harlow. For a moment, it looked like Lil Nas X had pulled off the impossible, beating the one-hit wonder curse. But as powerful as the Montero era was, it came with a cost. The same boldness that made him a star was starting to make him a target, and soon his biggest strength, shock value, would turn into his biggest problem.
The thing is, it's usually when I can control it. I don't think I have the grip on controlling it. I feel like it does a lot of what it wants now, you know?
Despite the success of Montero, there was something strange happening behind the scenes. Lil Nas X was one of the biggest names on the planet, yet when it came to collaborations, the doors of the industry started quietly closing on him. In interviews, Lil Nas admitted he had personally reached out to some of his idols, Drake, Nicki Minaj, even a few major rappers he admired growing up.
And he was still working on Certified Lover Boy and whatnot, and he was 100% focused on that. This was like a few weeks ago, and I understood completely, and he said, you know, he's down to do something, but just not the right time. He was trying to get his own shit together.
But none of them said yes. Drake told him he was focused on his own project. Nicki simply never responded, and that silence spoke volumes. Fans couldn't understand it. Why would the biggest artist in hip-hop turn down one of the most viral stars in the world? Some said it was fear. Working with Lil Nas X meant risking backlash from certain audiences. Others believed it was pride, that older rappers didn't take him seriously because of his image or sexuality. At the same time, Lil Nas's connection to internet culture made him feel like an outsider in a world full of polished, label-trained stars. While others networked through private events and industry favors, Lil Nas was still trolling online, cracking jokes, and staying relatable. But that same authenticity, the thing that made him so popular with fans, also made him unpredictable to labels and publicists. He wasn't the kind of artist you could control, and that scared people. Behind the smiles and awards, Lil Nas X was realizing that fame doesn't always equal respect. He could break records, win Grammys, and dominate charts, but when it came to the rap elite, he was still treated like an outsider. That quiet rejection hit harder than any public controversy, because for the first time, Lil Nas X wasn't fighting critics, he was fighting to belong. But instead of slowing down, he doubled down. His next era would prove just how far he was willing to go to get people talking again, even if it meant repeating the same formula until it broke.
What ticks me off the most about this whole situation is that there are so many rappers and artists over the years who have portrayed themselves as Christ in some way, shape, or form, and they don't get any guff for it. But were any of these people calling on God to smite Lil Nas X, crying about any of this stuff? No, of course not. It's just because he's gay, he's being a little silly with it, and they just hate the guy and they're morons.
By 2024, Lil Nas X's career had reached a strange crossroads. Every move he made was still loud, still viral, but no longer surprising. When he released his comeback single, J. Christ, fans instantly noticed something off. The video looked just like Montero. More religious themes, more shock value, more attempts to stir outrage. This time, though, the internet didn't bite. Instead of calling him bold, people called him predictable. What once felt fearless now felt forced. The visuals showed him playing basketball with the devil, dressed as biblical figures, even getting crucified. But it didn't hit the same. The symbolism that once made him powerful now made him look desperate for clicks. Critics accused him of recycling the same tricks to stay relevant. It's like he's trying to go viral again. One reviewer wrote, "But lightning doesn't strike twice." Even loyal fans admitted the magic was gone. Social media filled with comments like, "We've seen this before," and "He's trolling just to trend." The backlash grew so bad that Lil Nas X posted an emotional video apologizing, saying the song wasn't meant to offend anyone. He looked tired, vulnerable, a sharp contrast to the confident star the world once knew.
And I can act unbothered all I want, but it's definitely like taking a mental toll on me. This wasn't like a you to you people, you to the Christians. Like, it was not that. It was literally me saying, I'm back like Jesus. I was put on this earth to bring people closer together and promote love, and like that's who I am. I'm not like some evil demon guy trying to destroy everybody's values and stuff like that. That's not me.
He said it wasn't an attack on religion, just a metaphor for rebirth. But by then, the damage was done. The internet had moved on. The same audiences that once celebrated his rebellion were now tuning him out. He had built his fame on being unpredictable, and once people could predict his next move, the illusion was gone. And that's when things started to unravel. Because if shock no longer worked, what else did he have left? After J. Christ flopped, Lil Nas X tried to reinvent himself with a new album era called Dream Boy. On paper, it sounded like the perfect comeback, a softer, more mature version of Nas showing growth beyond controversy. But instead of a rebirth, it turned into another mess. The rollout began with excitement, new visuals, mysterious teasers, and talk of a fresh sound. But that hype disappeared fast when fans noticed something odd. The Dream Boy cover art looked almost identical to a design from a smaller London producer named Sega Bodega. The resemblance wasn't subtle, same pose, same lighting, same concept. When Sega Bodega called him out online, Lil Nas X admitted he had used it as a reference, but the internet wasn't buying it. They accused him of stealing ideas instead of creating them. The plagiarism claim spread fast, and once again, the focus shifted away from his music to yet another controversy. Even worse, the songs didn't connect. Singles like Light Again and Need That Boy dropped quietly, failing to chart or trend on social media. Fans said the music felt directionless. No heart, no message, just attempts to recapture a moment that was already gone. It didn't help that his online persona had started to lose its charm. The jokes didn't land the same. The tweets felt forced. The Dream Boy image was supposed to show evolution, but instead, it exposed confusion. Desperate to regain attention, Lil Nas promised to release a new song every day, leading up to his next video, Hotbox. But when it dropped, no one cared. The views were flat, and critics called it proof that the internet finally moved on. It was a hard truth. Lil Nas X, once the king of virality, couldn't even trend anymore. The artist who built a career off being unpredictable now felt stuck, repeating old tricks while fans quietly drifted away.
Yo, Lil Nas X, you could eat my whole. I hate that nigga, bro. God gonna handle that nigga. Real shit. What did he do? Nah, bro, I'm never gonna explain it, bro.
But before anyone could write his final chapter, something unexpected happened. A personal crisis that reminded everyone he was human after all. In early 2025, the headline shifted from Lil Nas X's music to something far more serious. The once unstoppable hitmaker posted a shaky video from a hospital bed, revealing that the right side of his face had suddenly gone numb. His smile was uneven, his speech slurred. The internet, usually quick to joke, went silent. Lil Nas explained that he'd been partially paralyzed and didn't know when or if he'd fully recover. For someone who built his image on confidence and control, this was a painful wake-up call. The man who once trolled millions now looked vulnerable, scared, and completely human. Fans flooded the comments with messages of love, but beneath the sympathy was a shared realization. The game had finally caught up with him. After years of chasing trends, arguments, and headlines, Lil Nas X was forced to stop. There were no viral stunts to save him this time, no clever memes to distract the world. His silence lasted weeks. No tweets, no jokes, no flashy rollouts. Just a rare moment of peace, and maybe reflection. When he finally returned online, his energy was different. He talked less about fame and more about healing, about how burnout and pressure had taken a toll. It was clear that the kid from Atlanta, who once dreamed of being seen by everyone, was now struggling with the cost of that spotlight. This wasn't just another pause in his career. It was a reality check. Fame had given him everything and taken just as much, but this moment would set the tone for what came next. Because after facing his biggest fear, the real question became, could Lil Nas X rise again? Not as a viral star, but as an artist with something real to say. Lil Nas X's story is more than just a rise and fall. It's a warning. The internet can crown you king one day and forget you the next. His journey proves that viral fame burns fast, and when the noise fades, only substance keeps you standing. From Old Town Road to Montero, he mastered the art of going viral. The shock, the controversy, the memes. But somewhere along the way, the music became secondary. The art that once felt new started feeling like a marketing plan, and fans could sense it. They stopped seeing the fearless innovator and started seeing a performer chasing the next click. The truth is, the same internet that built him also tore him down. Every tweet, every video, every move was judged under a microscope. And once the algorithm turned on him, so did the culture. But maybe this fall was necessary. Maybe losing the crown will let him rediscover why he started in the first place, to make music that meant something, not just something that trended. Because if Lil Nas X ever makes it back, it won't be through shock value or memes. It'll be through growth, humility, and honesty, the very things the internet can't fake. And that's the final lesson of his story. Viral is never forever, but legacy can be if you earn it.